fellow galaxy seekers. This is G, and we're going to take a walk through the June 2021 eclipse. Yes, another eclipse. We just had an eclipse at the end of May, May 26th. It's typical to have another eclipse 2 weeks later. Sometimes you even have another one 2 weeks after that one, right? Like eclipse season period, but we do not have that this time. We have June 10th. It's at 5:53 a.m. Central Time. Depending upon where you live in the world, you would adjust. This is a very special eclipse, folks. As you see over here, Gemini energy, you can see that this is the North Node at 10 degrees and 46 minutes in Gemini. Yes, this is the Gemini sign, like the twins they call it. You see that we have the sun at 19 degrees and 47 minutes. We've got the moon, 19 degrees and 47 minutes in Gemini. We have Mercury retrograding. That's what the red represents. It's a backward motion because the nodes moved backwards too. Red, 20 degrees, 41 minutes in Gemini. So there's a lot happening, a whole buttload. So we're going to go through this together. We're going to dissect each thing. Just what the heck does this June eclipse mean anyway? If you are new here, welcome. Make sure that if you like and enjoy this video, you please let me know below. Introduce yourself to me. I love being in touch with those who are watching and having a good understanding of who you are. If you don't have your chart and you want one, comment to me below. So the North Node points to a key lesson in your life. It represents new experiences toward which you must aim during this lifetime. You already have learned the skills of its opposite point. That would be the South Node. It's your past life. That does not agree with you. Just take that South Node as being something you were born with inherently, a gift from your maker, a gift from your creator. It is a superpower, I like to refer to it as. You were born knowing. It was an innate ability gifted to you from birth. You must stretch yourself and grow. You must learn to master the opposite side, which is the North Node. So the challenge with the nodal axis, I'll just stop with those words. The challenge is to use your past skills of the South Node and to learn the new skills of your North Node on your quest for wholeness. Keep in mind that word wholeness. It comes up again and again because it is astrology. Astrology is the science of wholeness. So the North Node in Gemini, this is a quest to learn to see life from other people's point of view. You are learning to become a master in the art of communication. You have a tendency to be restless and scattered. You need to develop a focus and an ability to communicate your ideas in a way that helps the many people in your life. Gemini means it's all about communication. Gemini energy, when we think of, well, communicating with who? Your neighbors. And who are your neighbors when you're little? You know, you had mom and dad, those were the parents. So your siblings, in a way, can be your neighbors. So we also say this is your sibling energy. And how many of you have grown up now and you have many people in your life that you consider a sibling? That is not a blood relative. They're not a sibling by blood. And so this is that same energy, your Gemini energy. But it's also your physical neighbors, right? It's the people out back, the people next door to you. So that can also be your coworkers. This can also be your schoolmates. Now, since we've evolved, this Gemini energy has become a digital communication, right? Because back in the day, this was just talking and thinking and, Helen Keller speaking with the hands, sign language, but it's evolved. It's grown up. We've got social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, like this is that. This is social media. And it's digital neighbors, digital communications, email, information, news, media, the newspaper, the radio. It's information that's transmitted, information that is received. This is Gemini energy. These meanings will still hold. But as we grow and change and evolve, so too do the definitions. Because as we grow up, this grows up. They elevate. Sometimes, we go backwards, but for the most part, those 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and then all of a sudden we get catapulted forward. Those times are here, folks. Gemini energy, the age of Aquarius, fast energy growing.
Right.
So now here we are. We've got the sun in Gemini and we've got the moon in Gemini. Let's talk about this. What is the sun and the moon when they're together? What does that mean? We have the sun and the moon at the exact degrees and minutes. And what does that mean? Comment below. I heard it. I heard it popping in your head. I heard it. Comment below. I want to see who knows the answer to this.
Right.
June 2021 eclipse, North Node involved in it. And it's about our future. It's about where we're headed. It's about our thoughts and our communications, being flexible, being open to new ways of communicating. And what else, right? This double emphasis on new is the sun and the moon together creates a new moon. So what does that mean? What do we do on new moons? We set our intentions on a new moon. That's what metaphysicians do. What is a metaphysician? Someone who knows how to work with energy, know what the energy brings with it, what sort of traits, what kind of a quality, what the energetic weather is going to be, looking at your calendar, right? You go and you look up the weather forecast, okay? This is the energy forecast. Well, when you look up the weather forecast, they tell you rain, temperature, precipitation. Well, when you look at the astrology, you're looking at the energetic weather. We know what we're going to be wishing for, basing it upon the supplied energy. We're going to work with the universe. We are going to work with the galactic powers, being open, because this is air, so it's new information, being flexible, because Gemini is a mutable sign, flexible thinking, flexible communication, new ways, because this is what a new moon represents, new. So it's be open to what's coming. You see the node is at 1046, which technically is still at 11 degrees, but that once the node keeps moving, it will go down in numbers. It declines. That's a normal movement for the nodes. So once it gets to 1030, 10 degrees and 30 minutes, we can then say it'll be at 10 degrees. Well, once it's at 10 degrees, you've got the nodes beginning a new decan. The next 10 degrees, the last 10 degrees of this sign will be those degrees of mastery, which is your flexible communications, your flexible ways of thinking, being open to new ideas, being open to learning something new. Gemini is all about skills and skill sets. And so what did you learn? What did you learn in all of 2020? This sign, for the last part of 2020, we had the nodes in Gemini. And that's when that really super uncomfortable stuff happened, right? Lockdown began in 2020, right? 2021 came around and we had a whole nother layer of information and communication, especially for those who were in the States. Whole bunch of stuff occurred, right? Beginning of 2020. But now we're at those last 10 degrees. And that last 10 degrees is going to represent this new beginning in communication, demonstration. The last 10 degrees of a decan, because it's a mastery, those are the mastery degrees, it's time to demonstrate what you learned in the first 20 degrees. There's 30 degrees to a sign, all right? So if I lost anybody, there are 30 degrees to the sign of Gemini. There's 30 degrees to the sign of Sagittarius. There's 30 degrees to the sign of Taurus. 30 degrees to the sign of Aries, and so on. 30 degrees to every sign. The nodes were going backwards because that's how they work. They were at 29 and then they go down, okay? And so we had 20 degrees when we were in school, okay? So those last 10 degrees is your time to take what you've learned and to demonstrate to the universe, demonstrate to yourself the knowledge, the new skill, the new way of thinking, the new way of communicating, the new way of working on the internet, working with social media. Right before the pandemic, how many of us were just using email and farting around on Facebook? And that was pretty much the extent of it. And what about those that weren't even doing that much, that are just learning to begin to text? Literally just learning how to text. And some have given up altogether and decided, I don't want any part of any of that. Right? And for all those teachers out there, this is that. For all those teachers out there who were teaching face to face, this pushed them and said, you know what? I know you don't like it, but there is another way of teaching. And some of you may not be that good at teaching online. Some of you may have found, surprisingly, that you're awesome at it. And some students may have found that they actually do better having all the classes available for them online because being in school wasn't working for them. And their alternative was to be homeschooled by mom or dad or whatever. And that wasn't working either, right? So this really has pushed us to consider things, ideas, thoughts, new skills that we were not open to doing before. And that's the whole beauty of this. This, you are watching your own process of growth. Your brain has so much gray matter in it. Your brain, a very small percentage of it is used. And so when we have these events, right, pandemic, insurrections, when we have crazy stuff happening, when we have crazy things that challenge our way of being, they're actually there to help us grow. They're actually there elevating us intellectually. Because it's very important to receive those higher energies and higher knowledge and higher information. We have to also grow intellectually.